Got it recorded. We have Carol on with us and Dr. Sheila. We got Sue and we've got, okay, Life Changer. Tell me what your name is, your first name.
Dr. J, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, that's right. And then we've got Deb. We kind of been running it up Florida. Is everybody open to Florida?
I am.
Sunny, beautiful Florida.
Yes,
Look,
yes.
Everybody saying yes. Okay, so we have a head count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us so far. So let's go with Florida.
I'm good with that.
All right.
I do have some questions, Tammy.
Okay,
I did go in and I went in and purchased some tickets, and I expected it to say that it was going to be on a specific day, but I understand it's running for like a week or whatnot.
It is.
What day is the live going to be? What day is it that you guys are actually talking about meeting on? Because I have a teenager in college, so that's going to make a huge difference for me.
I think that we kind of have that. We can kind of say when we want to have it.
Okay.
Is it the 9th through the 15th?
It is the 9th through the 15th. You've got those vast amount of days to watch it. And the 9th, I think, is on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Thursday. So probably the weekend is when we'd want to meet in person. So do we want to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday? How do we want to do this? Because typically what I did in Michigan, we had about 15 or 16 of us there in Michigan. I want to say that we met. I would hope we'll get a bigger group together because I would like to see at least 10 or more of us meet in order for us to actually do this thing.
I'm going to personally call all my people tomorrow and see what I can get on my team.
Yeah, and I can do that too.
How much are y'all wanting to spend for accommodations?
You know, I don't know what the gal that did this for me in Michigan, Jen may know. Jen, do you know what the cost of all that was to run for that meeting room that we did? Do you know?
I think she spent a couple hundred. I think it was like 200.
So well, I'm thinking I'm trying to not do a hotel. I'm trying to see if I can't get a house.
Yeah.
So that everybody's in a house. But again, that's spring break time here.
Right.
And so I don't know in the Panhandle how much is going to be available, but one of my neighbors runs a rental business.
Okay.
So I can see if she has anything that's new that hadn't been booked up yet. You know, so that's where I was trying to see. And then we wouldn't need a meeting room. We'd be in the house. You know, if somebody didn't want to stay in the house, they could just come to that common house.
Yep.
And in the family room or whatever, we'd all watch the TV or throw the computer on, you know, to watch the meetings, the lectures that way. That was my concept that I was shooting for. If we're just looking for a meeting room and everybody's going to get their own hotel and buddy up that way, that's different. So I guess I need to get clarification of what it is the group would like for me to try and facilitate.
Okay. Well, when we did it in Michigan, everybody was kind of on their own and we just held it at a community center. However, I'm going to tell you, we had connection issues, which they kind of worked out for us. I mean, I didn't get to record anything because the connection was so bad. But we were able to watch the day of discovery pretty much. The problem we were having is everybody was having trouble connecting their devices so that we could do training. So the training was a little wonky, but we still got through it. We still shared a lot of stuff. It was still a great meeting and I'd do it again. I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. So it's kind of I mean, it's kind of up in the air. Carol, if we can get a big house, great. And we can say, you know what, there's room for 10 or 12 or 15 of us. And then the rest of them, do their hotels or whatever, that's great too. Whatever you can come up with on this short notice, let's go with it, is what I'm gonna say.
Let me reach out and see if she just starts absolutely laughing at me and going, you want this year?
Right.
If that's the case, then, I can see, we've got what, 6, 7 on here now.
Uh-huh.
So I can see accommodations for 9 to 10, because obviously I have my own place.
Okay.
If not, I might be able just to see if a couple of friends have a guest bedroom, and we could put 2 in a guest bedroom here, and then we could just meet at my house and watch things, because I know my Wi-Fi, I know that connects and, whatnot. So we could, if we just a small group, I can go 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and then we all walk over to the house. So I'll call Krista and ask for 10, possibly 15, but a house for 10. What would be the cost? And then we can go from there.
Sounds like a plan. I know, what was the things that we kind of, and then like I said, we could always do like a community center, as long as we know we've got good connection and we just know an area that we're going to. And I know I've been out to spring break area. I actually went to Florida, what was it, last year during spring break time, and did not realize it was spring break. And I left here and I ended up sleeping in my car that night because there was absolutely no hotels.
I remember that.
I know how booked up it gets in Florida around that time. So let's be proactive, and let's hope that, if there's not anything, then at least we can all get our hotels booked around the same area, around the same time, even if we meet at your house, Carol. I mean, that's fine too.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do.
I am going to suggest Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And what is the area? What area are we looking at here?
I am just west of Panama City Beach.
Okay.
I think you're familiar with it, Sheila.
I am.
Me too.
See, that's an area I don't know that we've been to. Have we been to that area? No.
So
We
I
always go to
favorite
Tampa.
there, and I just checked it, and it's completely booked for that weekend. So
What is it?
It's on Okaloosa Island, and it's at the very end. It backs up to Eglin Air Force Base. Okay, so when you go in there, you're gonna see mirrors on the closets and wallpaper on the walls that might be peeling, but it's clean. That's all I care about. Clean, and it's up on the ocean. I literally take my kids down there and sit on the balcony and watch them out on the beach. And it's my favorite place, but I just checked it and it's booked. So,
oh wow.
I can usually get a room there for between 100 to 150.
Oh, seeing that, yeah.
So
I know when
my favorite place.
Yeah, I was checking around
on the end, and you can't. There's no walkthrough.
Oh wow.
It's blocked on one side.
Yeah, and I think last week I was looking around the Tampa area, and there were some mansions you could actually rent, but they're like $800 and some odd a night, which would, if you had about 20 people, they were 16 to 20, they would house 16 to 20 people. So that broke down to about like $50 a night, which is not bad.
That would be great.
But that was around the Tampa area. I don't know if there's any big houses around where Carol is talking. So, I mean, look, I mean, if we can book 15 to 20 people, then yeah, let's see what we can do, because like we had, I want to say we had, how many did we have in Michigan? 16 to 18 of us in Michigan. Do you remember, Jen? Did we do a head count?
You know what? I know some people came but didn't stay. So when I did the head count, there was like 12, but some people had left.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that gives you an idea. But that was just my team. That wasn't including Sheila.
That's what I'm saying. I think we can get at least 20 people.
Yeah. I'm hoping for at least 20 or more, you know.
Yeah. 30, 40. Come on, guys.
I'd really like for a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is our team?
I have over 600 on my team.
Holy Toledo.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm trying to catch up with her, but it's going to be a little bit.
I've been at it for 2 years, so but I have a lot of them are in Australia. I have over 200 in Australia. So
Wow.
but that, you know, that I have a large following. It's just communicating with all of them. I know that, you know, even having Becky on our team, I thought maybe we could do something. I thought she was going to be in Florida at the same time, and I thought that was really going to, you know, blow us up, but she's not going to be in Florida at that time. So unfortunately, she's staying up in Pennsylvania. And I don't think anybody wants to go up in the cold.
No.
And look at Sue. Sue's like, no.
Oh, no.
But the first 3 weeks in October, I'd have been totally in. It's so gorgeous. It's so to die for.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good now. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, if we don't get everybody together for virtual Day of Discover, we can sure as heck shoot for the in-person Day of Discovery, you know?
Oh, I've already told my people they all are coming.
Yeah.
When is the in-person?
It's usually at the end of August or sometime in September. Every
Yeah,
year.
but
Last couple of years it's been in September. So
And where is that?
it's in Utah.
yeah, my husband doesn't like that side of the country.
It is.
I don't know what else to tell you.
See, and
It is
that's my
important.
favorite.
To Florida or the East Coast, but when I start saying, "Baby, I want to travel to Utah," he starts going, no.
Well,
It
I'll
makes
come
it-
pick you up, Deb, and we'll
There you
go.
go. We can do that, but somebody, yeah, I gotta have somebody with me because you know he's afraid I'll get stuck somewhere in my little wheelchair and be whatever, like it's ever happened because I just ask people for help.
I'll
wherever
come
I'm
get
at.
you next time.
When will they announce it?
Say again, Carol.
When will they announce it?
They always usually announce it right after the virtual Day of Discovery when they're going to have it. I think they actually announced this next year's, but I can't tell you what day it was. I think it's also going to be in September.
I think it's September, but I don't remember the dates. Carol, it is. I mean, I was still new and I just felt like God said, you need to go. And I'd just been on a big trip for a seminar and I did not want to drive. What was it? 13, 14, stupid amount of hours. And he just said, I needed to be there. And I knew as soon as I walked in, I needed to be there. And it's one of the most important things I've done. It was just so powerful.
It is. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
When you're in that room with all of those people that are using the scanner, Sue's been there. And Jen, have you been to the Day of Discovery yet? The in-person yet?
No, not yet. I really want to
But
go this year
she
though.
will. Yeah, she will. It is simply just amazing. Just the energy in the room and everything. Jen, you hang in there because I want to hear your mom's testimonial. But anyway, it's just out of this world. I mean, you can't even explain what it's like to be in person there.
No.
And
It's
just
it's important.
Yeah, just to meet everybody and to see who you're dealing with, you know, the Solex family and all the customer service reps and just getting to know everybody. It's incredible. So I
Yep.
tell everybody, you've got to be at Day of Discovery.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Carol, look into that. If you need me at all, I'm going to put my phone number in the chat just so you have it. Let's see, where is the chat?
Well, Carol, I'll just let you know there's a rental on VRBO that fits 24, and it's like $400 or $500 a night. And if you
Hey,
did,
Wow.
Sheila, I'm just saying there's a couple of them right around you. You said Panama Beach, right?
Panama City Beach, but we're in Walton County, not Bay.
Okay. Well, these are, I just look at, I like to go over Airbnb. I always find much better deals or whatever, rentals, not deals necessarily, rentals. So
Yeah.
I did look quickly, and I do see a few big beach houses, 24, 32 even.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Awesome.
It's like $800 a night though, but if you get 32 people, I think you could afford that.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
We'll definitely keep putting the word out there to just kind of see who's going to come join us, who's going to be out there, and we'll go from there. And then I'll put out an email blast to the team too in the back office and see if anybody would like to come so be looking at your back office emails. I'll send out something in the next couple of days through there. Some people see them, some people don't. That's why I kind of don't like the back office email system, but you know, I'll try it that way. And then I'm still working on my website and email blast as it is. So
Okay, so we're looking at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10th, 11th, 12th. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of these places have checkout by 11 o'clock. So Sunday would not be a meeting type day unless we ask for late checkout. So are we looking to maybe leave Monday morning?
yeah, I would say Monday would be a better leaving day. Yeah.
Okay, so arriving on Friday and checking out on Monday.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that'd be best.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's a house there, but if it's a like a resort or a hotel or any other place where we're gonna go, maybe we'll have enough time on Friday to do some classes for a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what I did last time. We did one day of classes, and then the other day was when we watched the Day of Discovery together.
Tammy, do you, when you send an email blast out in your back office, does it go to all of us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
It does, but what I'm finding is a lot of people don't know that that's there and they don't see
Yeah.
it. I think Solix really needs to promote that a little bit more. Maybe I send an email on that, but
Well, a lot of systems, when you do that, you'll also get the notification in your back office, but you'll also get an email that there's a notification in your back office.
yeah. And I don't know if they've been having troubles with, like, when people sign up underneath us that we get a notification. I know, so because I told Solix, I said I was getting notifications and then all of a sudden I didn't get any notification. They're like, well, we're kind of working on that. I'm like,
Oh gosh.
get after it.
Yeah.
But it is what it. I am just like one of the most paid, because I feel like I'm bugging them all the time. So I've just kind of backed off and I just let it ride. But I'm like, you guys really need to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. They need us to tell them because they don't always know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, they do. They do.
They got their hands in so many pots, programming wise.
Yeah, they probably do.
Tammy, you're the newest Pearl. You should have all of their like cell phone numbers and be locked in.
That's right.
I do have Kai, Shelby's, and Lauren's, and Lauren did give me a call last weekend after, I don't know what day it was, but he did give me a call. And I'm like, I missed his call and had to call him back, but he just called to congratulate me on the next rake up. I said, I ain't got it yet, mister, but I'm going to get it. He's so sweet. We have such a wonderful leader. I mean, we really do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording and then get into our Wow Wednesday.
Woohoo.
Lady, I'm gonna pop off because I'm
Okay.
down here with friends, and so I wanted to be here for our Day of Discovery because I said I'd help facilitate. So I will have to catch the replay of everything else.
Perfect.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
Enjoy
Bye.
your family.
All right, bye.
And I know we'll probably have a couple more come on. I announced this in my big group, so we'll see if some more people pop in. But Jen, since you're here, would you mind sharing your mama's testimonial?
Oh my goodness, I would not mind, but where do I start?
I know, right?
Okay, you want me to just
What?
start talking right now, or do you
Yeah.
want to see some people pop on? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, for the people that I don't know on here, hello, everybody. So I got my scanner from Tammy in October of 2020. So I think I got mine like right after you got yours. I know I was one of your first. So we got the scanner and I was still new, you know, trying to figure it all out. And then fast forward, my mom, you know, got sick. So I had built up this relationship with Tammy already because we went through the patches first and then we went to the scanner, right? So we were staying in contact. So when my mom wasn't feeling well, I thought, okay, I'm going to reach out to Tammy and see what can we do for mom, right? So we're almost 2 years, Tammy. It's going to be 2 years in May. Okay. So this happened a year and a half ago, right? So a year and a half ago, I found my mom in bed and she looked horrendous and we prayed about it and tried to figure it out. What can we do? I called Tammy. Tammy, please pray for my mom. What can we do? So Tammy, I believe you reached out to Lauren, right? To find out if there was anything that we collectively could do with these scanners. You know, we have this technology. How can we utilize it to the very best of its ability, right?
Yep.
So we already had one of the Facebook groups, but this is when you started the Sacred Hands and Feet. So you moved everybody over from the one group to the other group and you said, let's all scan Jen's mom together and really see the power of what these scanners can do.
Mhm.
So anybody that was, you know, interested in doing the scans with us were added into the group. And, you know, just like normal, we uploaded all mom's information and we had very powerful people. I mean, I love you, Tammy. We had Nadia that was very involved with this. And I have my circle of people that I will never, ever, ever, ever forget, that I love you guys so much because of all of this. So around the clock, 24 hours a day, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I would get up, I would run the scan on my mom. I would reach out with Nadia. She would muscle test. She would test. She would toss these suggestions to the group, what mom needed for the next hour, because this technology has came so far that when we first got it, there was no playlists. It
Right.
was one Seffi at a time.
Yep.
So
I remember that.
And we were trying to be creative too. How could we figure this out? Like, how can we do more, you know? And honestly, I think that that's why Solex, you know, kind of jumped on these playlists so fast, Tammy, is because they were able to see how we utilize the power of this. I mean, the
Yep.
story is amazing what we did for mom.
Yep.
So we started scanning mom, like I said, with everybody, you know, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we're going to run this. From 9 o'clock to this time, we're going to run this. You know, we're going to run the chakras for 5-minute increments. I mean, just around the clock. And then around 8, 9 o'clock at night, we would say, who can run through the night? Now, mind you, we only had the ability to run one thing at a time, and we didn't have multiple scanners. I don't even think I mean, there was no tablet then. Like, everybody had their loved ones that they were trying to help. So we were all rotating. You know, my mom was in rotation with everybody and on everybody's scanner. And she ended up going to the emergency with pneumonia. So that was the diagnosis when she was admitted to the hospital. And we started running the scans on her. And unfortunately, my mom had some major complications that occurred during her visit at the hospital. She ended up having heart surgery and had a stent put in. During one simple procedure, they hit a main artery and she had a major bleed that they could not stop. There was, like I said, 3 major situations where she actually had died 3 times in a hospital. She stayed there for a total of 26 days. So we ran scans on my mom around the clock from day 1 through the day that she came home. So for 26 straight days, 24 hours around the clock. Tammy, I never really counted how many people were a part of our group, but I want to say consistently on a very regular day-to-day basis, there was at least 15 people running at all times on her. Am I
Yep.
wrong for that number, Tammy? What do you think?
I think you're pretty spot on.
Okay, and that was consistent. I mean, some people would say I'm working, I'll jump on when I get done. You know, I have this other client when I'm done with this person. And it was really like trying to maneuver a way for everybody to, you know, and not just scan with my mom. I want to say that we became such a very close group when my mom's my best friend. So my best friend is gone and I'm brand new to this technology at this point. I mean, we're 6-7 months in because she went to the hospital in April and we got the technology in October, right?
Right,
So I
right.
hadn't had it very long. And this is all a process for us and we're all learning it and we're all coming together at the same time. So you build relationships in that. That was a building block that has completely changed my life, for one. And I love God. I give him all the glory. So does my mom. She will tell you that the first thing out of her mouth will be, you know, God saved her life.
Yeah.
She will also say, if it wasn't for the scan girls, she calls us the scan girls, if it wasn't for them, she would not be here. And she believes that.
Yeah.
Because with the knowledge of our group, with the Nadias and the Tammys, and I mentioned Nadia because she's not on the call and I want her to get some recognition because she was amazing in all of this.
She
And
was.
Tammy, you're my lifelong friend because of this. I love you to pieces. We were able to stay ahead of it. You know,
Yeah.
we were running blood clot. And then hours later, I would talk to the doctor and he would say, I think she has a blood clot. We would run, one time we ran the scan and it said she was dehydrated. So I call the hospital because I'm frustrated because I can see what's happening. And I'm telling them about this technology that I have. And how come you don't know she's dehydrated? Like, how can she be at the hospital and be dehydrated? When she went to the hospital, her oxygen was only at 50%. And they told me if she didn't immediately go on a vent, she was going to die. She would not make it through the night. So a lot of her visits, she was incoherent. She was on a vent. She got ventilated 3 separate times while she was there during these different emergencies that she faced. And even when she got out of the hospital and she was home, she came home to us in a state of, I call her, I tell everybody she was like a baby. So she came home on a tube feed. She wasn't able to eat. To put the oxygen thing on her finger, she couldn't even hold her own finger up in the air. That's how weak she was. To put the little thing on her finger, she couldn't even lift her own fingers up. The hospital told me they wanted her to go to a rehab, 24-hour care, that her care was too extensive for me. Well, I'm her daughter, so I disagree. So I brought mom home and around the clock, because I lived so close to her, you know, I was visiting with her through all hours of the night. And like I said, we would scan her all day. So even if it was the middle of the night and I needed to know, hey, this is happening, is there anybody available? And that's where Tammy's 600 plus people, you know, I don't know how many she had then, but you know, people were up and, you know, watching the the messages and giving advice. And you know, things changed so much with her care that it was great to have all these people, you know, constantly around the clock giving their advice. And it wasn't just the scan people, you know, like you have us scanners, you had people that were doing Reiki, you had people that were doing just different, you know, types of anything that they had specialized in, they were offering their services. And it was just amazing to me. And we all prayed together. Like we prayed for my mom and I love it. So it wasn't just, it's not just a scan group for me. It's like, I love the people in this group, you know, because they took the time and the effort and the energy out of their day and, you know, put it into my mom. So I'm so thankful. And I think everybody should have a scanner in their house, like everybody. Can you hear me still, Tammy?
Amen to that. Sorry, I can't. Hate it when the microphone's
okay.
on, we can't respond. That's
Yeah.
freaking powerful.
And I remember the
Thank
day that Jen did not say that her mom was getting out of the hospital. And I remember, I'll never forget the day she sent me a video of her mom and saying, Mom is home. And I just broke down crying because I'm like, praise God, she's here. She's still here with us. Because we all worked around the clock. And even Lauren said, you guys have this amazing scanner. Be running Cephis on her together. And we were like, oh, really? We can do that? You know, because at the time we didn't know.
And
that we
that's
could
how
do
it all started.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it all started, Tammy. I mean, you took your gigantic heart and you wanted to help and you asked the questions, right? And then you created the group. I always give you praise for that. Like I joke sometimes and I say, that's my upline, you know, on Facebook, because I'm Scan with Jen for the people that don't know that I'm one and the same person. But I created that page because, you know, I'm the Scan girl now. That's what my mom calls us. But, you know, she's 2 years in almost from this. And she, I think I paused when I said how extensive her care was. Like she couldn't talk. They told me that she was going to end up on a trach. They told me that my mom would never walk, that she would never talk, that she would never eat. They made me feel horrible for taking her home.
And several times they told you that it was her time to go. And you said, no, God decides. God decides.
Right. They sent me funeral arrangements and everything, Tammy. Like I didn't, it was horrific what I went through. And to say how powerful what you just said was about how I called you the day that mom came home. You were the very first person that I called. I got my mom in the car. She came out in a wheelchair. She didn't really even know what was happening. And I immediately strapped her in and got my phone and did like a selfie video for you. And you were the very first person that I called.
And I bawled like a baby. I'm like, this technology is amazing, you guys. I mean, if we can pull the people out of the brinks, I mean, out of the hands of death, basically. I mean, I did it with my little dog too. So I know how powerful this technology is. And if I mean, we'd be foolish not to use it 24/7 on ourselves. Just foolish. We have
if my mom didn't, sorry, Tammy, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think there's a little delay in the call here. I was going to say, I still scan my mom every single day. She's a part of my daily routine now, you know, and when I say that people need these in their homes, I never had a health background. I've always been that stubborn person that believed in natural things from the earth, and I'm not going to put that in my body. And if it didn't make sense to me, it just didn't make sense. Right. But, you know, man, it's so much. It's like, where do you even start? Where do you, you know, so much happened with this whole entire process, but the reason why it was so powerful was because we were able to stay ahead of them. So when they would call me in the morning to give me an update on my mom, or I would call the hospital to get an update on my mom, we already were scanning her for hours in the morning and already knew the things that she needed. I was able to tell the doctors, this vein is struggling. So where are you going to go when you want to go in to do this procedure? I was able to understand things better because I asked you guys a million questions. And I learned a lot through the process. You know, I learned so much through the process, and that's how you learn.
Say that again, Deb.
I bet they hated her.
They did. There were many times that Jen was just in tears. She was frustrated. She's like, the doctors are telling me X, Y, Z. And I'm like, don't believe them. Don't believe them.
I went through very similar things with my mother, and I did not have a scanner, and they hated me already without the scanner. So I can only imagine how the scanner would have added to the antagonization that happened between us. I was that daughter that showed up to every single monthly meeting at the nursing home and said, you will not do this. You will do this. She will take CBD oil. She will not take that medication. blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That same nursing home called me and asked me to bring them the CBD oil and let them put it on her daily schedule. So
Wow.
they learned something that day. That's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
Oh, you're so right, Deb. And you know what? When this happened to my mom, this was right when the world shut down. So this
Oh.
hospital that she was at did not allow any visitors at all.
I can't.
So no
imagine.
advocates for her, no visitors for her, and she had no voice. So she was in there by herself, and all she had was us on the outside fighting for her and God. And he
Yep.
knew that we were fighting for her because I prayed about it all the time. And he downloaded the knowledge that we needed to help her because
Yep.
they literally had given up on her. Like
Mhm.
it's there's so much to the story. I mean, I'll tell you what, she doesn't remember almost any of it. Like the memory of all this, it was so traumatic for her that she has forgotten, but
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Yeah. I
I'll
don't think
never
any of
forget.
us
It's
will.
so powerful.
I am going to
Yeah.
say this, Jen, real quick. You're convicting me. I need to be using my scanner a lot more than I am.
Well, I'm great. And
On
that's what it's
myself.
all about.
Because I'm
Yeah.
still working on myself. I plan to build a business, but I'm not ready yet because I'm still healing myself.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
We all are. We all are. I mean, I'm still working on myself, Scott. I mean, we're all working on each other all the time.
I know, but at
All
least
the
you
time.
can walk. Dang it, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm having really good. I'm working with Jen, Kathy, and Becky Kimberly right now, and the scanner, and I'm learning so much. I just need to start not falling at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'll be doing really good.
It's gonna happen, and I'll pray for you.
Thank you, and I know it is. God told me 5 years ago I was on a journey, his leading to heal. And I am now, after 5 years, finally have my detox pathways open, or finally in a group of people who know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
Who have the same beliefs as me and the same well, I have an electronics background. I don't have a health background, but I was my mama's caretaker, and I've been my caretaker for 16 years. So I'm not completely ignorant on the medical side either, but I totally get the electronic side of it completely. And I actually, since they diagnosed me with MS, it is not my diagnosis. Since they diagnosed me with MS, I have to say that I have seen my brain as a circuit board since that day. And since I started doing and I just really think that the scanner can pull the key of everybody's health problems together. We just need the personal knowledge and and everybody's got their own niche. And that's what I think is so great about this team. And what makes me so excited about this team is because Nadia's got all this crazy neurological, but then yet Jen's got this crazy neurological, and they're completely different. You know what I mean? And then Becky's over here, and then Tammy's over here. And then Tammy, you're amazing. I know that you're down on yourself about your knowledge and your abilities too in the medical arena, but girl,
I'm still learning. I
know
am
you are, but
getting
I'm
my
right
own
behind
doctorate.
you. You keep stepping forward, and I'll keep stepping in your footsteps.
And I have been. I am just in a learning phase right now, and I'm just like, my brain can't handle much more. But it's okay. I'm gonna get there.
I'm finally in a phase where I'm stopping and pausing and allowing myself to be treated as a patient.
Good.
Which is where I do need to be, but it is frustrating. So much technology and so much.
Anybody else have any wonderful testimonials they want to share?
Mandy has one.
Mandy, go for it.
Hi,
Hi, Mandy.
I'm pretty new to this. I'm still learning a ton, just skimming the surface, but my neighbor, my friend, we just moved down here. So she just had carpal tunnel surgery yesterday. And I reached out to her today to see how she was doing. And she said she was in so much pain that she doesn't usually take medications, but the Percocet wasn't even touching her pain, and that she called the doctor and they had just ordered a new thing. So her husband was leaving work to go get that. And I said, well, hurry up and give me your information, because I've been telling her about the scanner, but I told her, I don't know what I'm even doing yet. But I said, give me your information and I'll run frequencies on you. And she's like, okay. So she gave it to me. And so I put it in and I said, okay, I just put you in there. I said, let me know if you feel anything. And she's like, okay. And I just looked back at our chat, and it was literally 10 minutes to the 10 minutes. It was 11:04. I sent her that, and 11:14, she said, it has gone down to a throbbing. She said, I haven't hollered for several minutes because she was in so much pain. She was like screaming. And she said, it went down to a throbbing. And so like, I kept checking and I said, okay, how are you doing? Because I was just had her on the continuous. And she said, it's good. It's just a dull throb. She's like, it's hardly anything. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop it. Let me know what happens. And so she said, it went back to a sharp pain and then it went away. So I said, well, don't take the medication yet. Let's just see how this happens. And she's like, well, I just swallowed it. So she said she was going to go take a nap. So I kept it running. And I think that was one of my questions is, how long do you keep it running until you like give it a break? I think I kept it running until about 2:30 or so. And then I shut it off. And then I was going to start it back up, but I didn't know how long is too long to let it run.
Typically, a lot of us will muscle test. If you know how to muscle test at all, we'll kind of muscle test and ask the body how much it wants. I know that's what we did with Jen's mom. A lot of times we would muscle test and find out, well, how long does she need this playlist, or how long does she need this frequency? And we would get an answer and we would run it that long. But if you don't know how to muscle test, let the person just dictate to you, hey, I think it's feeling a lot better, or hey, I feel like I need something different. And then you can do something a little different. But that's typically what we all do. Do you know how to muscle test?
Yeah, so I can muscle test myself for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to ask her permission to muscle test her, and then get her yes and her no, and then just muscle test and ask the body how long for this particular playlist that you've made up, and you'll get an answer. I would
Okay.
start, 15-minute increments, go 30-minute, 35, 45, whatever. And then once you get to that hour, then do 1 hour, 2 hour, and find out
Okay.
time.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing the answers you'll get on that.
Yeah, that's good to know. I grew up with muscle testing, but I forget about it a lot.
I know.
So yeah.
I do the same thing sometimes too. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I just muscle test? But it's becoming such a habit now that that's just the first thing I run to. I'll always ask somebody, can I muscle test you real quick? I'll go, yeah.
Well, that's good. So yeah, that was my first real good experience, because I'm still learning so much in this.
Yay. That's
I
Thank
was
you
very
for-
excited.
Thank you for making it. I really couldn't wait to hear what you had to say. She texted me earlier and she said, I've got my first testimony. I said, please join the call.
Yeah.
Well, and I was making them dinner tonight, so I was like, I will try to get it done. But so I was trying. Another thing I just thought of, though, I scanned my husband as well this morning and yesterday, because he's he's obviously new to this as well, but today he's like, why don't you need to scan me again? And so I scanned him, and I was telling Dr. Sheila, I was like, I thought we had the vitals, but I didn't do the vitals. So I had just done the inner voice. And then I've been listening to your calls, and I'm realizing inner voice is emotions and things like that. But he was looking at his emotion thing, and he said, this is weird. This is picking up on everything that I was just telling you that I need to take care of. So I was like, well, yeah. So it's cool. He's like, I need this. And he's like, I need more minerals. I'm like, fulvic. He's like, I need this. I'm like, this. I was like, he's like, I need magnesium. I'm like, here you go. I was like, we have it. You have to take it. So
That's
I see I'm going to be purchasing pretty soon. Yeah, he's actually going to start using the things that I've been trying to get him to use.
Way
so.
to go.
I know.
Oh,
So I'm really excited, and I appreciate all of this education you guys provide. I'm really trying to tap into all of it so that I can learn this more, because I would like to be able to help people too. I
Yeah.
just don't know where to start.
yeah.
I tell everybody, just scan and optimize yourself every day. Do your inner voice. Inner voice is so important. I can't stress that enough. And you'll hear Lauren say the same thing, inner voice, inner voice, inner voice, and I'm like, inner voice.
It's really cool, because like I scanned my daughter. She's almost 12. She has a lot of emotional things. Like she's just very anxious, and her first scan came up with all these colors I'd never seen. And I looked I was looking at him and I thought, I mean, it was crazy how much it really touched exactly what her emotions are. And I haven't seen those colors in my scans. It was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are custom tailored to each person individually. I know the kids are extremely receptive. If you can get her one of the bracelets and imprint her frequencies in there, those bracelets are amazing with frequencies. It like carries them through the day when they're at school and everything else. So, and that's something you
Okay.
can repeat. Just make sure you charge it out in the sun once a week. But the bracelets are amazing. I know with my piggy britches, she has a collar, and I make sure I charge it every week, and I imprint her frequencies, and there's a big difference when I don't.
Okay, I'll look into that. And I love her name. That's the cutest name I think I've ever heard for a dog.
She's pretty special. She's spoiled. My oldest son says, "Oh, there's that $1 million dog now," because they grew up with her, and ever since she had that big vet bill and all those health problems, we stocked a good amount of money into that little dog to keep her alive. But man, that scanner, amazing.
That dog is famous.
He kind of is. Brenda, do you have anything? Oh, Brenda, do you have anything to share about your son, Brenda? You're being called on the carpet, girlfriend. There
Well,
she is.
let's see. Do I have anything to share? My son's 28. He has nonverbal autism, epilepsy, lots of sensory issues. I called on Sheila because he has such oral sensitivity and such dental issues under general anesthesia twice, and seizures afterwards and things like that. And so she did run a dental scan, and so we're gonna kind of follow through with that and see how he progresses. But been using because he's nonverbal. Sheila said that I could just put it to his mouth, but I've been able to get him to say for the 10 seconds. So we've been able to get some the scans done like that. He's very receptive to the bone conduction, so I put that on him when we scan. Looking at the vitals and the comprehensive, there's an overwhelming amount of out. Overwhelming amount. Yeah, my background is nursing, but it's still overwhelming. And so I got to listen to your Saturday how to do the Excel. So I've managed that with the copy and pasting and kind of doing some comparison work right now. So I'm getting set up to do a 7-day and see if I can figure some things out.
How long have you had the scanner, Brenda?
Since second week in December.
Okay, so
Still
not even a full month yet. I will tell even everybody here. I had a team member reach out to me privately, and she had been using the scanner, I think 6 weeks at the time. And she says, "Tammy, I just don't feel anything. I don't feel anything different. I don't think this thing is working." And I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you that this is all very subtle. The scanner is subtle frequencies. You're give it at least 3 months before you start hanging it up, because it seemed like even with myself, with as severe as I was with my emotional health, because I was having some severe mental issues. You can even talk to my husband. I was suicidal, all of that. And when I started with the scanner, it took about 3 months for people to start noticing something's changing about you. And by the 6-month mark, I had came into who I really was and was doing things that I wouldn't normally do because I was happier. I was settled within myself. And even my husband said, oh my God, because we've been married 35 years. And he goes, you have completely turned back into the woman that I fell in love with. So it took me but I was doing the inner voice upwards to 3 or 4 times a day. And I would scan and optimize myself at very minimum twice a day with the vitals and the comprehensive. Now I do the easy scan at very minimum once a day, but when I'm having a bad day, you can guarantee I've done it at least 3 times that day. And then listening to the tones too. When I'm not feeling quite right, I always up my game with the scanner, and it seems like it always brings me back. So just give yourself some time, give your son some time. About 3 months, it seems like that's the sweet spot I hear from a lot of people. It
Good,
takes,
I'm gonna put that on my calendar.
yeah, it
I
takes
look
a
Brenda, Brenda, did you catch what she said about the scanning and the optimizing? Because I wasn't real up on that either. The significance of running those scans. So because it optimizes, which means it's sending back some balancing things with the information it just received.
Yeah, I do the optimization every time I scan.
And if there is
Okay.
a
And I
particular,
send myself the report and email, and now I'm starting, to consolidate that, and so I can look back.
yeah. And if there is a particular issue that you're actually working with, like, for example, like with, just to give you an example, like my mom, or even with Piggy Britches, and even my husband right now, there's some skin issues. So I definitely make sure that I run the body systems with the integumentary system. I scan and optimize that at least 3 times a day. If somebody's in a chronic situation with something, with Piggy Britches, she was in liver failure and organ failure. We found out she was also having kidney failure, liver failure. Those were the 2 failures she was having. So I scanned and optimized kidneys and liver 3 to 5 times a day. And I was having her listen to her tones up to 5 times a day sometimes. So I consistently, and then running a Cephi program in the background consistently until they can get over that hump. Anytime you got
Yeah,
somebody
we
in
have
a kind of a
so
chronic
many
issue.
issues, though, it's like,
Yeah,
we have gut issues, we have digestive issues, we have brain issues, we have mycotoxin issues, we have HHV6, we have,
Yeah.
just a lot of immune issues and
start
things
with
like that.
one. Start with one.
I go for gut first.
There you go.
Everything-
That's what
you
I
got-
would do too.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of gut digestive things, leaky gut, things like that.
And do the brain right alongside that, because those are
Yeah.
connected. So
Yeah, all connected. So
good for
yeah,
you, Brenda.
it's all about
Good.
vagus nerve, and so I've been trying to put together, I got about 10 playlists so far that we kind of work on. But one thing is, with autism, if they're receptive, then it's positive.
Yeah.
Because if he resists it, then I know, okay, no, that's too much, or he's not feeling good about it, whatever. But he's been very receptive. He holds the phone himself. He takes possession almost. So
Good.
know that
That's a
he-
positive.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is.
takes it over to the table for the meal, and he has it right there by
Wow.
him, when he gets a break and stuff, because he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
He's in sports. He's playing hockey and ice skating this time of year, and doing all kinds of things, and volunteers at rescue horse farms and things like that. So every time, I'm always running it, whether he's here or not. And then when he comes in, then we'll do our scans. But so
Nice.
yeah, we've come a long way, and we were sick in between all that. So now we're well, and have a lot of things to look forward to.
Nice. How old is he?
Yay.
He's going to be 29 next month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I don't know, I kind of look at the, more the systems than, his main barrier in life is communication. But I haven't really gone there, trying to look at the foundational things first.
Right. I think you're on the right track. Just stick with it. At least give 3 months. I always tell everybody give 3 months at least if you're being consistent. But then I have some that, you know, they might use it once a week, if that. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to give it a little longer than that.
No, no, especially in the winter. Yeah, we're much more focused on it right now. So yeah,
Awesome.
giving it all we got.
All right, we are 1 minute away from the Solex call. So thank you everybody for being here. I did
Yes.
not read the disclaimer, but I do want to kind of throw that disclaimer in there. The AO scan is not a medical device. It's not a diagnostic device. It's not meant to treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. If you are sick, please go see your physician or your professional. So you guys, it's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jen, for everybody jumping on, and we will see you next week.
Yay. Love you all.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Bye-bye.